right, here we go. Hi, everyone. My name is Steve Wiltshire, and I wanted to start by thanking Chris and Emma for allowing me to be a part of this, and to the Vinskys and the McKenzies for making today possible. Chris and I have been friends for a very long time, about 23 years if I did my math right. Chris and I met playing Little League Baseball, and afterwards we grew up together, we lived in the same neighborhood, we went to the same schools through high school, and we have been friends ever since. All throughout, we also played all the same sports together. For those here who may not know Chris very well, he has always been a natural athlete, and athleticism isn't something he's ever struggled with. He's the guy who always had 2% body fat. He's always been extremely fast and abnormally strong. Because of all these natural talents, in high school, he was the guy we were all jealous of. While the rest of us had to kill ourselves to get stronger and faster, all Chris had to do was look at a dumbbell and his biceps grew by an inch. He also had a God-given ability to grow muscle by eating food that makes other people obese. He's the only person I know who can eat an entire bag of Sour Patch Kids and gain 5 pounds of muscle. It's true. Chris always knew he was a man amongst boys in this category, and he felt the need to cement that status by wearing workout clothes that went out of style 30 years ago. Does everyone remember the workout shirts with quarter-length sleeves and the stomach cut to about 6 inches above the waist? Yeah, he wears those. And proudly. He also feels the need to cap that off with a nice dose of super tight spandex shorts. And nothing else. Now, he doesn't just wear them to work out, which could be considered somewhat acceptable. He feels comfortable wearing them to all kinds of different venues. One time he showed up to a flag football game wearing just them, and one of the refs leaned over to me and said, "Is he gonna put some shorts on?" I said, "No, that's just Mackenzie." Through the years of us playing sports and occasionally doing some homework, we had plenty of time to do some really stupid things together. One of our favorite things we used to do was borrow our dad's cars and drag race them to impress the girls that we were hanging out with. Dad, where are you? Sorry. We also used to take Chris's Mustang out in snowstorms so we could do donuts, and even enjoyed speeding our cars up and down the bike paths through our parents' neighborhood. Probably the dumbest thing we ever did was a little weight room competition one day after track practice. One of us thought it'd be a great idea to see who could jump the farthest, and at the same time grab a hold of a ladder that was fixed to the ceiling. By the time it was Chris's turn, a few of us had put some pretty good jumps in, so Chris knew he had to really put his best effort in. What Chris didn't know was that another guy from our team happened to be standing on the other side of the ladder. Chris cranked out a massive jump to his credit, grabbed hold of the ladder, and just as he was about to take credit for his win, his foot got caught in the other guy's shirt in midair, which sent Chris crashing to the floor face first. Now, this wasn't a friendly floor. It was linoleum on top of concrete, and I've never seen anyone's face hit with the force that his did. The force was so great that it snapped his 2 front teeth right off. It was one of the most disgusting and cringing moments I have ever witnessed. If anybody wants proof, ask Chris to smile later and hold up a black light. Now, Chris has a couple fun little quirks that we all need to talk about. I'm sure everyone here knows that Chris, even just a little bit, has been victimized by many, many instances of him being late. Chris is so bad that he has trouble showing up on time for just about all events, regardless of their importance. Take last night, for example. He was 20 minutes late to his own rehearsal. Now, it's not just that he's an incredibly busy guy, he just happens to choose to do random things right about the time when he should be somewhere. He will even argue till he's blue in the face that this is an acceptable behavior. The lateness reasons vary, but over the years, there's one that sticks out as the most notorious in our circle of friends. We would put something on the schedule to hang out, and afterwards, Chris was already about 15 minutes late. One of us would call or send him a text, and his response would be, "Just stepped out to get a bite to eat with my parents at the pub." Page 2. When that happened, he ended up being not just an hour late, but probably 2 hours late. Myself and all of his other close friends have become so used to this that we now tell Chris that when an event's going to start, we invited him to, that he needs to be there at least an hour early. If you ask Steve Wasmer, he would say that it needs to be at least 2 hours at a minimum. It's the only strategy that works. The other fun little quirk that we need to talk about is the pet Chris has. Chris has a pet squirrel. Sounds weird, right? I mean, who has a squirrel for a pet? But he indeed has one. It just so happens that the squirrel lives between his butt cheeks. Chris has one of the hairiest asses ever created. And the collection of butt hair culminates into a shape of a squirrel tail. Now, you would ask, how and why do I know this? That's weird. Well, the squirrel has made many appearances throughout the years. From mooning cars to streaking through Wasmer's parents' neighborhood. Probably the most memorable appearance of the squirrel was during a flag football game a few years ago. Chris caught a pass, and the defender tried to pull his flags. Since Chris was running so fast, and the guy was trying to pull him down, the guy happened to grab nothing but shorts. He shanked him, and out popped the squirrel. The funniest part was that Chris kept running, regardless if the squirrel was hanging out, and all the other team could focus on was that squirrel. Guys from the other team were asking, what's in that guy's ass? If Chris gets drunk later, we might all have a squirrel sighting on our hands. Now, Emma, as you already know, you have quite the entrepreneur on your hands. Just in case you weren't quite sure about what your future holds, I have it right here. So everyone knows I'm about to read an email that Chris sent out 3 years ago to myself and other friends. It's titled My Plans, and it reads as follows. Hello, close friends. This is an email to tell you of my plans so they, and hopefully all of you, will hold me accountable as they are now in writing and for other people to see. Wilshire has already tried to call my bluff by buying a Porsche within 5 months from now. So this is one of my financial goals, to own a new or slightly used Porsche within 5 months. Also, since where I live is not conducive to parking a nice car on the street, I will also own a newer house with a garage in Manayunk within 5 months also. Obviously, I have other non-financial goals to keep in mind as well, but I wanted to start with these tangible items. I trust you will bust my balls about this, and hopefully be happy for me when these short-term dreams manifest. And then maybe you'll want to try an exercise like this yourself. So, by September 2010, I will have a Porsche 4S, a newer or rehabbed Manayunk home up on the hill with a view of the city skyline, and can't forget that garage, and the ability to leave my job if I so wish. Chris McKenzie. So, I actually have to give you credit, Chens. You have actually accomplished 2 out of the 3. You've left quite a few jobs if you so wished, and you're actually about to have a rehabbed Manayunk home up on a hill. Now, the only thing you don't have is a Porsche, so I figured I'd buy you one. It's a deep pocket. There you go. Thank you. There, just to get you started. On a more serious note, I couldn't be more thankful that I have had the opportunity to be friends with Chris for all these years. I never had a brother growing up, and Chris became that for me. We have gotten each other through difficult times over the years, and no matter where we are or what we're doing, we've always been able to rely on each other. Chris, I just want to thank you for being such a great friend and always being there for me. My life wouldn't be the same without you. Since Chris means so much to me, I can say that today carries special meaning because I can see him marry an amazing person. From the minute I met Emma, I knew Chris hit the jackpot. She has an infectiously happy personality that is just fun to be around, and she compliments Chris in every way. I honestly can't believe he found someone who is just as late as he is, enjoys his bathroom humor, and thinks extended public displays of affection don't make other people feel uncomfortable. I mean, really, they found their soulmates. Seriously, though, you guys are great together, and as a friend, I'm really happy that you found each other. Now, before I go, Chris likes to play a little game from time to time that I want him to play in front of all of you. Chris has a saying that he believes to his core. That saying is, everything in life is negotiable. The game he likes to play is to highlight this and put together a ridiculous scenario, mostly vulgar situations, and ask you if you would do this for a particular amount of money. Well, Chris, I'll keep this PG-13. My question to you is, for $100 million, would you give Emma up?
No.
Good answer. Now, if you all raise your glasses, I would like to propose a toast to the bride and the groom. Chris and Emma, you're both great people with a bright future. We all here wish you the best, and just know that everyone here will always be there for you. Cheers.
Ladies and gentlemen, hello, big round of applause for Jen and Steve doing great jobs toasting their best friends here on their wedding night. I'm going to turn things over to the fine staff here at Artesano. Enjoy your meal, and I'll be with you folks shortly.